Welcome back to the life and suffering of Sir Brante. We're continuing left off of part 3, where we're just going to be continuing and finishing off chapter 1, getting our entire year 1 or year 0 to year 8 complete, and seeing what I do, I guess. We're going to find out what I do and what things I do, what things I may mess up on, and just the life of Sir Brante, one of a kind, and if we die, everything ends. That's just how the game is. We'll see how I live this unique, once-in-a-lifetime life of Sir Brante. Because once he's dead, he's gone for good. I mean, when he dies, true death, of course, after the 3rd, 4th death. You know what I mean. Anyway, let's continue where we left off. The event has happened. You experience an insight when your mother tells you about the ways of the world and the lots of its inhabitants. It's ants! We're not ants! Don't compare humans with ants. We're more complex. Fencing, please. Yes. Thank God. Because, if I would have had determination up, that's the thing. If we didn't die, if we hadn't have died, we may not have gotten both of them. At the same time, we might have much later in, before the end of chapter 1, possibly still have acquired it, because I'm sure the developers wouldn't have made it where you'd end chapter 1 without dying once and not being able to get all of the events. I'm sure they made it so no matter what, you can go through every event in every chapter without dying. I'm sure that's if you pick the absolute perfect choices, then you will not have to die. But if you do die, it will lean you towards getting the events. So, to have a 0 deaths and get all the events would probably require literally precise, perfect things. But for that kind of stuff, if it's for absolute perfect runs, that's probably what walkthroughs are for, but it depends. If I were to wanting some rare achievement and you had to do from start to finish, from birth to death, absolute perfect, no mistakes, just to get all events and no deaths, if there's some kind of achievement that's like literally that, do all events, never die, it's probably best not to try to do that on your own without any help. Probably best for achievements and just then going along with the story and, reading it out. But for me, this run will be my own personal experience and whatnot. But we get to learn fencing, so I get to be stronger. I'll be determined, I'll be perceptive, and I'll have fencing lessons. I'll be able to easily become noble. When Father's not working long hours, you often see him spending long stretches of time in the backyard, especially with the grandfather having taken Stefan along. I'll become a formidable competitor to Stefan, and probably be able to fight him for the heir. And I'm going to beat him. I'm going to kick his ass. When Father is not working long hours, you are allowed to watch, but that is it. You are forbidden from touching the sword, let alone actually learning how to fight with it. It is a new day today, and Father has been busy in his studies since the early morning. Mother took Gloria and Nathan to the shops. Your studies are done for today. The house is empty. You spot your father's sword hanging by the yard. He must have left it there by accident after training session. You deliberate at first and grab the sword with resolve and run outside. At last you have a chance to see it up close. It is a small sword used for dueling, heavy and devoid of any ornamentation. You recall that it was made specifically for him. The weapon is difficult to handle. Its heft makes the palm of your hand shake. As you get used to it, you try your best to imitate Father's feints. Your technique leaves much to be desired, but at least it's something. Imagine yourself fighting for the family's honor as the thin blade slices through the air. But you swing too far back. The blade nicks your shoulder and cuts through your shirt, staining the fabric crimson. The sword falls to the ground with a dull clang. You try to apply pressure to the wound to make it stop bleeding, but all you do is make the blood flow faster. Oof! Douche, what are you doing here? The familiar voice hurts you more than the cut of the sword. Father walks up to you briskly. His rugged arm rips off a length of cloth and bandages your shoulder. He squats by your side and pulls you into an awkward embrace. My son, why did you have to take the sword? You know you're not supposed to hold it. This is no toy. It is a weapon that can take lives. I know how you feel. I used to yearn for my father's dueling sword back when I was a young lad. One day you might have a chance to earn the right to carry a weapon, but first you must have patience and study, and become a noble. When that day comes, I will be proud to teach you myself. You rarely spend time with Father without someone else around. There's paternal love in his voice, so much that even the cut on your shoulder barely hurts now. You'd be glad to be convinced by what he says, but now you forget. But how can you forget your dream? How can you abandon it to earn Father's approval? Is it right for him to ask so much of him? You must stir all the courage to beg Father to teach you how to hold the sword. Yes. At least the basics, Father, please. I know you love me. You're a good father. Father's inquisitive look presses you for an answer. It takes you a long time to muster enough courage to speak. You begged him to teach you how to fight, at least the very basics. It will certainly come in handy in your future. It'll be your first step towards becoming a nobleman. Now it takes Father a long time to respond. He's about to speak and you expect a refusal, but he says nothing. He draws a sharp breath again, but remains quiet. Then he finally offers you the sword. Yes! But remember this, douche, you are not a warrior, not yet. You will study this like you study your lessons. He teaches you the first lesson right away. You learn to dodge attacks. There are several times when the tip of the blade cuts the air dangerously close to your nose. It is scary and difficult, but you manage it. Yes. I'm exhausted, but that was well worth it. From that day forth, Father teaches you the foundation of sword fighting in great secret. You use your passion for tree climbing to explain the cuts you received during training, soon you'll learn how to hold your own battle in a duel. But will you ever need this art in real life? Oh yeah, I'm gonna need it. But now I'm exhausted. But whatever. Yes. Excellent. But when we sleep and it becomes a new day or a new month or whatever, we should have our willpower back. Soon Grandfather leaves, your elder brother Stefan goes with him. Oh, now he's gone. From that day on, Father hired teachers tend to you alone. They bore you with monotonous lectures on writing, counting, on the ways of life in the blessed Archnean Empire. You often distract yourself from the instruction by playing with your younger brother Nathan. Your home grows quiet without your elder brother, too quiet. Weeks later, your family receives a letter from Stefan. Grandfather has sent him to a boarding school for nobles, and he is now studying hard in preparation for his service as a nobleman. The rules here are way too strict. You can't even sneeze without the teacher's permission. But I've been studying with my peers. We're learning how to live as nobles in a noble society. We're also learning the art of swordplay. That's my favorite part. With Stefan now at the boarding school, Grandfather arrives once more, this time to live in your home. The only good thing is that he often has urgent business in Eterna, the capital of the Empire, and has to travel there. One day you ask Mother where he lived before. In Eterna, she says, but now his place is here. Each time Grandfather returns, he gives his servants new orders. Your home is always busy with repairs. The servants are redecorating Grandfather's chambers, including his library and his sitting room. Sometimes Father tries to gently talk him out of this. Why subject the house to constant reconstruction? Grandfather's answer is always the same. This home is mine, and I will live here as befits a man of the nobility. I'll try and see if I can get along with him, but I don't know. Some days Grandfather stays home, and on those days you try your best to stay out of his sight. There's no way you can avoid family breakfast. The food is there, you cannot bring yourself to eat it. Mother's eyes are red and swollen. She has been crying all night again. Grandfather sits at the head of the table where nobody used to sit before. Robert, it is high time your youngest sons underwent their sacraments. Sir Brante, please let them live free of the lot for a while longer. They are but... Shut your mouth, Robert. That wife of yours is impertinent enough to interrupt me. If this ever happens again, she'll be eating her gruel with the servants in the kitchen where she belongs. It is time you considered a real marriage, Robert, one to a woman of the proper station. Claudia drops her fork. Grandfather shoots her a scathing look. A tear rolls down Mother's cheek. Father does not look away from the plate, his hands clenched into a fist. Maybe it'd be best if I don't appease to the grandfather at this rate then. No one likes him. Father doesn't want to stand up to him. Hence his stone-cold face when it said he was coming back. If I were to try to appease the grandfather, I'd basically probably earn the ire of the rest of the family, or basically be spitting in their face, or you can appease to the grandfather in pursuit of nobility and grandeur, or whatever. Grandeur? Grandeurism? You guys know what I mean. But if I were to try to appease him, which is probably too late now because it's -2, but there might be a method of recovery, we'll see. But if I do, I think the rest of the family would go kind of shitty. So, we'll see. Gloria drops her fork. Father does not look. Baroness Eldodar is one such woman. She is a comely widow and a fine match. She is suing for her inheritance right now and could use a proper support and a husband. You can keep your lowborn Lydia around if you like. Servant, mistress, I don't care. I will not do that, Father. So it's like, Robert, The father clearly cares, though, for his wife. He hasn't struck his commoner wife, Lydia, so he's a good father. Everything is good. But especially with Stefan gone. I'm the head of this family, and the family's standing took a severe blow after you're married. That commoner is unthinkable. How could you give up the memory of the beautiful Amelia Elborn for this lowly woman and that bastard child of hers? But now you have a chance to set things right. Don't disappoint me. Father nods curtly, trying not to look in Mother's direction. Father, I wish to see Stefan. If I find your conduct in the Baroness's presence satisfactory enough, then you may see him. She is coming for a visit tomorrow. Be prepared. Grandfather wipes his mouth with his napkin, throws it into his plate, and leaves. Mother lips move silently. Nobody says a word. Then Father stands up and orders you and your other children back to your rooms. He needs to speak with Mother in private. Father comes to your room before bedtime. He sits on the edge of the bed in just a crease on the woolen blanket. He distanced himself from you after Stefan's departure, so you're not used to such attention from him. He distanced himself from you? In the candlelight, you can see his face in the dark. There's a sour expression. My son, Baroness Emma Lodar, will be visiting us tomorrow. Please be polite and treat her with respect, Nathan. Nathan will do as you do. I want this dinner to be immaculate as possible. Don't let me down. I'll do my best. I don't want to tar the family's reputation, even if I punched my grandpa, who's high noble and whatnot. On the next day, Mother starts dressing you and Nathan for the coming dinner. You see red all around her eyes. She has been crying, and for a long time. It hurts just to look at her. Nathan starts whining quietly. You and Nathan are dressed in new doublets. Doublets? Doublets? I think it's pronounced doublets. Your tousled hair brushed into shape. Gloria is told to stay in her room. Father appears wearing his best suit. Mother is in humble brown dress, looking pale. Grandfather has a uncharacteristically contented look about him. You hear the sound of wheels and hooves against the cobbles in the yard, then a pair of dainty heels come clacking. The antechamber is completely quiet and still, fearing Grandfather's observant eye. The door opens. You see your guest, a beautiful, dark-haired woman in a dress of elegant, deep blue. Father takes the hand of Lady Eldodar's and kisses it, showering her with compliments. Grandfather's face is beaming in her presence. No one even bothers to introduce Mother. Basically, it would be forsaking Mother, and she could become the new mother? Or, I mean, this could be a situation of either sticking with the family or driving a wedge between the family. Baroness, allow me to introduce Robert's son, Douche, and Nathan Brant. Frankly, it's his eldest Stefan who deserves the most attention, but currently he's studying in Eterna with other young noblemen like himself. It is my hope that his younger sons will also make me proud one day. Maybe. Grandfather eyes you with a probing look. How will you act in front of the Baroness? Shit. I don't have the willpower. No, I'll be polite. You greet with restraint and avoid getting too involved. Yeah, see? Yeah, Robert, grateful. It's as I said. You either appease the grandfather, or you can stick together as a family. Oh, wait. Robert Brant grateful. Is it even that high? I don't even know. Grateful. I guess it is. Oh, this is trouble. So this is unlocked, so Robert Brant. Oh. Damn it, man. Oh. This is a horrible one, man. The father really wanted me to be kind, but it says they want your dad to be grateful for this to be unlocked and with a perception of at least 4. But just because the father is grateful doesn't mean it wouldn't be a horrible choice. I'll go along with it. I want to try to have it so everyone's sort of okay. You follow the father's example and kiss the Baroness's fingers gently. Her laughter fills the antechamber, ringing the chimes. You gallantly offer to lead her to the sitting room. Lady Lodar graciously agrees. Behind your back, you can hear Mother sobbing. She just has to put up with it for a little bit, man. Grandfather and Baroness Lodar engage in small talk over the dinner. She tells him of the woes of litigation over her late husband's inheritance, and he advises her like the judge he is. Father is mostly silent, only getting in a word or two. You do your absolute best to behave yourself. Like what I perceive, and only the developers will know, if I demand the mother is introduced, it'll probably help the family in terms of togetherness. By me going along with it probably doesn't help the family in the end, and I do realize that. I picked it anyways in hopes I can smoothen it out afterwards, but I'm going to presume it's going to be a wedge in the family, and that choice is wrong, probably. After the decorous farewells to Lady Lodar, Father quietly thanks you for your model behavior. The morning after he leaves for Eterna, with Grandfather to visit Stefan, Mother spends almost an entire day to her bedroom. You cannot bring yourself to speak to her. I can take the hit, that's fine. Father returns to the capital in quiet rage. You overhear your parents talking. Apparently Grandfather has already poisoned Stefan's mind against him, and you greet your father with a cold hostility. The name of Baroness Lodar is never mentioned in the house again. Oh shit. But yeah, see, like I said, it's grown. He told me he wanted me to behave. If he wanted me to be a rebellious little shit, I'm sure deep down he'd be happy, but it would also bring shame to the family. I'd be fine with following along and going along with the act, even if it means somewhat harming Mother. Because family reputation and keeping up an act, even if you don't mean it, is fine sometimes. Mother just has to calm the fuck down. And there we go. And his is a little bit better. Reputation +1. Unity down a little bit. See, if I would have done, this is what I had expected, is if I had forced to introduce a mother, Father and Grandpa would probably be down, or just Grandpa down once or twice, but Unity would be up. But Reputation would also go down. So I did the complete opposite. I'm fine with this. Unity being down, but I don't know. It's strange because it went the reputation with Father went up, but the family as a Unity go down. We'll be able to raise Unity if we have any more, I guess, options with the sister. And also, we're going in an hour and 30 minutes. This might have to be 3 videos. Oh. But it's easier to do this many videos in one go, because then I just split it in half, and then, I mean, so much for me saying a one-shot video, because now I'm just like trying to get one chapter done. And then we'll see how well the 3 videos go, or however long it continues. But nonetheless, everything is going fine. I don't regret anything. Father now checks on your studies often and nitpicks you for sitting or eating or speaking in incorrect fashion. Once you become so annoyed, he says that he wishes Stefan had been the one to stay home instead of you. Ooh. You never expected to hear those words from your father of all people. Grandfather's trip to the capital took longer than expected. It feels lighter around the house without his presence. You allow yourself a little change of scenery. Instead of your room, you now busy yourself with reading and calculations in the sitting room across from the open door to the yard. Gloria has joined you today. She has already helped you progress through several complex passages in the book. Right now, she seems to be preoccupied with a strange tube. So maybe we'll be able to get the events to strengthen Unity with Gloria, hopefully. Aren't you hurt by the way Grandfather treats you? You ask. Gloria just shrugs. Grandfather always says that they should get rid of me. I'm used to it now. He hurts you a lot worse because you're closer to him. I just have to stay out of his way, and that's it. She shows you the strange tube she has been holding all day. Look, it's a... kaleidoscope? I don't know how to pronounce that if I did already. I got it as a gift. Want to see inside. Excited by the idea, you close the book and peer inside the tiny hole on the end of the tube. Your eye sees a multitude of intricate patterns. Each turn of the tube reveals a new web of interwoven colors. They mesmerize you. The kaleidoscope? Kaleidoscope? I think it's kaleidoscope. Turns the fire burning the fireplace into a calvary made of flames. You are riding at the front of the fiery horseman, ready to face the enemy. Grandfather's face emerges from the intersecting lines, and you swing the kaleidoscope like a sword, cutting it in half. Now you look at the blue sky through the window. The patterns are unending, secretive, and calm and peaceful, just like Father smiled before Grandfather's invasion. The deep blue gives way to a scattering of gold radiating gentle warmth like Mother's arms. This fleeting beauty too soon gives way to a hypnotic new pattern. Again and again, you see your family in these interconnecting figures as they come together and break apart. And in the middle of this golden glow, you see Gloria's green eyes gazing at you observantly. Your sister left you long ago. The books are abandoned and time slips away unchecked, but you are still busy peering into the kaleidoscope. Order emerges from the chaos before your eyes again and again, but you cannot preserve it no matter how hard you try, or no matter how you try. Ugh. You are caught in an inner conflict. There is so much that can be done with this kaleidoscope. Should you take it apart or ask Gloria how it works, or keep enjoying the patterns it shows you? Willpower. Willpower. Fucking willpower. Well. I have no choice. My willpower is kinda shit. You continue peering into the ever-changing patterns the kaleidoscope offers you. They become truly interesting when you point at the shining pillar gleaming in the sky. In your mind's eye, one battle follows another, filling your ears with clanging steel and the neighing of horses. You're leading in the Imperial Army now. Everybody is so proud of you. Grandfather says you're better than Stefan, and Father's stern voice cuts your daydream short. You lost all track of time. It is evening now. How did you get your hands on this toy? Why aren't you studying? Give it to me. You'll have to double the lessons tomorrow. Well, thank you for the willpower, I guess. Oh. Grandfather visits are no longer a cause for fear and panic in the house. He has become something you're used to, something nagging yet not unordinary. Like a splinter or a stain on your trousers. Oof. The tension still remains, however, Sir Gregor's disdain for everyone in the house is so palpable it almost stings for real. Your lessons with the tutor are done for today. You're walking down the stairs when you spot Gloria peeping into the sitting room through a slightly open door. You sneak up on your sister and tap her slightly on the shoulder. She's startled. Oh, it's you, douche. Look, Sir Gregor's eating something. Grandfather is sitting on the sofa, flipping through a book with one hand and reaching for a glass bowl with another, and now and then. Inside the bowl you see candied fruit, a sweet confectionery forbidden to the common estate like all sweet things. Your grandfather's face shows no pleasures as he keeps consuming the high-born treats. The clock strikes 3. Grandfather rises from his seat and puts away the bowl on the shelf and leaves for the yard. He always takes a walk in the city at this time. Gloria nudges you with her elbow and looks at the candy bowl. When you look at her, the first emotion you feel is fear, but next comes curiosity, and it is stronger. Stefan used to boast that candied fruit tastes incredible, and now you have a perfect opportunity to try it. You try candied fruit first. The sugar starts to melt as soon as you put it on your tongue. It is so sweet. You've never eaten anything as good as this. You take the whole bowl off the shelf and you give it to your sister. She takes a fruit and brings it to her mouth, carefully, like a rare treasure. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. There's a thumping on the stairs, footsteps accompanied by the knocking of a walking stick. You have no idea, but Grandfather's back. You quickly hide behind the sofa and pull Gloria after you. But she's frozen in place with the bowl in her hands. The door opens. Grandfather's menacing figure advances on Gloria. His hand seizes her arms. You squalid, ungrateful, low-born child. How dare you bite the hand that feeds you? You and your troll-up of a mother would be sleeping in a ditch if it weren't for my spineless son. The sweet and pleasant things in life are for the noble estate, not for the likes of you. Did you forget your lot? His hand swings and hits Gloria on the cheek. She falls to the floor right next to where you are hidden. Her fingers glisten with the warmth melted sugar that brought you here. Grandfather advances again, his walking stick ready, but then he sees you huddling behind the armchair. Please don't hurt him, Sir Brante. This is all my fault. He tried to stop me. You can already see a bruise in Gloria's cheek. This is the only beginning of her punishment. Gloria was caught red-handed, unlike you. What is it then? Milksop. Did you try this sugar too, or were you trying to stop this piece of filth like she says? Shit. Nah. Shit. Drain my willpower, but get more favorability with Gloria, and maybe even die again. If Grandfather kills me twice, I swear to God, I'm going to kill him in the future. Tell the truth. You stand up and tell the truth even though it takes you an effort to do it. You actually ate a candy fruit, but Gloria only touched it. You hope this will help your sister avoid punishment. You're quickly proven wrong. Grandfather's face is red with rage. He strikes you with his walking stick, blow for blow. He keeps hitting you until he grows tired, and then he leaves you where you are. Soon enough, Mother comes in and finds the two of you on the floor. Too afraid to move in, she shakes her head in disappointment. You are badly hurt and covered in bruises, yet she still forces you to kneel and recite the precepts of the lots and how important it is to follow them. Oh? You grew because I told the truth? Then you stand before father and grandfather and swear never to take the things that do not belong to you again. No. Telling the truth was, good. It only cost at least -5, not all of it. And I wasn't expecting grandfather to be happy, I guess. Father and mother has been focused on Nathan and you since early morning. Instead of breakfast, you were told to say your prayers and wash your hands and faces and get dressed in plain white shirts. Today is the day of your sacrament. Mother, I want to go play in the yard. No playing today. You and Douche are big boys now. It's time for you to both have your first sacrament. No one can live without a lot. I don't want a lot. Be quiet and listen. You're born commoner, so you must accept a low-born lot before the twins. When you grow up, you'll get a chance. Earn a noble lot. Father and mother take you to the carriage. Nathan is hungry. He starts whining. Grandfather is the last to get in the carriage. His eyes are on you and your brother, looking for every fault. Soon the carriage is moving along the streets of Anazot. Slowly and solemnly, one more turn, and you see the colossal white building marked by 2 massive pillars. For the first time in your life, you're to enter the Church of the Twin Gods. You enter the gate and walk under the splendorous dome of the church. The church hall is divided into 2 halves. They are drastically different from one another. The floor on one side is rough and jagged and covered in dried brown spots, while the floor on the other is made of smooth marble. The commoners kneel on the jagged floor. Oh, so that's why it's sharp. And the well-dressed nobles and their families sit on pews. Father and grandfather leave you to sit on one of the nobles' pews. Mother walks to the rough stone of the commoner's side and gets down on her knees. You see her wince in pain, for the lowborn estate shall suffer in the house of the faith. The church acolytes surround you and lead you to the altar, where you and other children will take your sacrament this day. Before you stands a tall priest dressed in black, with a sword in one hand and a hefty whip in the other. Nathan's whining grows louder. He dislikes his place. He is scared. You remain quiet, but your stomach roils in uneasy anticipation. The first child to take the sacrament is a jaunty little boy from a family of nobles. The priest extends the sword before him and recites the words of his lot. From this day forth he will fight and rule and pursue the arts. His mind now forever free from the throes of suffering, for he now belongs to the noble lot. The boy proudly touches the flat of the blade with his lips. Nathan is next to receive the sacrament. He suddenly snaps out of his fearful trance and tries to break free, but the acolyte pulls him toward the altar and throws him on the jagged floor on the lowborn side. The sharp edges bite into Nathan's knees and he lands, spraying drops of red around him. I don't wanna. Douche, why do they want to whip me? What did I do? You try to break free and run to Nathan's side. You want to give him courage and protect him, but the acolyte's grip on you is too firm. You feel utterly helpless. Your little brother has to face the world all by himself. The priests start reciting the words of the law as he swings the lash over Nathan's shoulders. From this day forth, Nathan, thou shalt endure and work and suffer. Thou shalt be ardent in thy labor and humble in obedience to thy rulers. And now cometh thy first true suffering, which thou must accept with gratitude. The lash cracks. It strikes his right shoulder. It strikes his left shoulder. The blows are so powerful that Nathan falls to the floor. The priest tells him to rise. He has received his lot. Nathan gets on his feet and drags himself towards Mother, his knees torn and bloodied, his spirit broken. It is your turn. Your feet will not move. You can barely muster enough strength to walk to the altar. You get down on your knees and feel the sharp stones below. So sharp your clothing cannot protect you. Your skin begins to burn. The acolyte forces your head down, and you feel the lash being drawn above you, ready to strike. Shit. The priest's words are for you now. Shit. This is thy sacrament. Thou shalt work and endure and suffer. Thou art about to receive thy first true suffering by the sacred lash. Dost thou accept thy lot? I don't have it. But how can I not? Come on. My willpower is... I guess just I can't. Fuck. Goddamn fucking willpower. Damn, I'd kiss the sword. No. Fuck. Determination, yeah! Fuck yeah, determination. I will defy while yeah, I like that. Kiss the sword. Raise your head though. That's more impressive because it needs a lot of determination. To defy them while also accepting the lot. It'd go at least with more of my personality. I'll still get the whippings, no doubt. The priest readies the lash. Before he can strike you, you raise your head and stand up. There are cries of indignation among the churchgoers. The rip cracks, it strikes you on the right shoulder, but you keep your head up. It strikes again, this time on your left shoulder, but you remain standing. No one intervenes, even the priest is confused by this turn of events. He grits his teeth as he orders you to depart. You are to remain humble and obedient from this day forth, for you now belong to the common estate. You walk away from the altar swaying. You see things with surprising clarity now. You can barely feel the pain, even as the blood runs down your back. A timid hand touches yours. It is Nathan. His tearful face, a mixture of confusion and awe. Mother takes your hand and leads you out of the church. Once you're outside, she scolds you for being insubordinate. Grandfather is the last to leave his church. His face covered in red, angry blotches. There's a quiet fury in his voice as he says something to Father, who remains quiet and miserable as you walk to the carriage. Hell yeah, I'm ready for action. You defied a powerful will that day. There's fear inside you. You fear that this will might one day destroy you. That's a questionable thing for me to be told. You've taken your first sacrament and received the commoner's lot. Well, now I'm forever stained as a commoner, instead of defying and kissing the sword, but whatever. The mark left on you by the sacrament takes a long, long time to heal. Mother says it is a reminder of your lot, suffering and sufferance, pain, and patience. Glory shows you the mark of the lash on her shoulder one day. It'll never disappear. You're a commoner now. This is the lot you were born into, but Father keeps telling you to study hard so you may yet earn a different lot and become a noble of the mantle. It's like you're trying to say, like, yeah, you still whipped into the commoner, but that doesn't mean you're stuck there. But that is, I guess, only for men in this. You recall the past with warm sadness. When Stefan still lived with you, or when he wrote to you for the first time shortly after he left, now he thinks it beneath him to write to commoners in his family. Mother didn't lock herself in the bedroom as often back then. This changed shortly before Nathan was born, but most importantly, you missed the time before the terrifying figure of your grandfather was constantly looming over you. You learned the true power of the lot only after the head of the family's arrival. In grandfather's eyes, no commoner deserves to be treated with kindness. Is this just him, or is it the way of the entire world? The very thought makes you queasy. You're older now, and what's more, you're an elder brother now. You've learned how to care about someone else, how to teach and protect. Soon you are a small boy no longer. As the days pass, play gradually gives way to laborious study. Now your choices will decide your place in a bizarre and ruthless world of adulthood. Your childhood years are over. And yeah, that's it. I'm guessing it'll just continue the next chapter. I don't want to do this. I gotta stop, man. My voice is getting raspy. I'll just, like... I guess I'll read this before canceling. You've lived in this world for 8 years now. I'm fucking 8 years old. As you grow older, life grows more complex. The world of your childhood was limited to your house and family, but now the realm is expanding. It also includes your neighborhood, the nearby houses, the streets of the ancient city of Anazot. A question now looms over you, growing more pressing with each passing year. What will your place be in this vast outside world? Few people in the blessed Arcnian Empire trouble themselves with this question. It's not within a man or woman's power to choose. Their destiny is predetermined by their birth and those who bore them. And yet your peculiar birth has granted you a choice. Your father is a man of nobility, a worthy example in matters of duty and honor. Your mother is a commoner of lowly estate, humility and patience made flesh. In your sky is ablaze day and night with the light of the shining pillar, the beacon of the clergy. Your back bears the mark of the lash. Will you accept a drudgery and suffering that is the lot of the lowborn for your entire life? No. Are you willing to follow in the footsteps of your father and your father's father, and fight for the right to serve the empire as a noble of the mantle? Perhaps you will follow the twin god's word and offer spiritual guidance to others. The answer lies out there in the vast, terrifying world. What awaits you beyond the walls of your home? Events that can happen. Glory's secret. Ingenuity. So we got multiple new things we can do. So let's give a C. You have no relations. You have indifference, sympathy, honestly, everything is decent. Indifferent to the brother, but I don't care for him. Nathan, it's still good. Gloria, I mean, could be higher, should be higher, but whatever. But yeah. The only problem is simply the unity is about to be worse. I don't want it to get lower. And the wealth hasn't changed. I'll have to try to make it so the family's both reputation, I want the family reputation to go up without sacrificing too much. The wealth to go up. And, everything from the prior thing. Curiosity. So what about... I'm going to assume the determination and everything will come back eventually, but this is like part of the more stats that you gotta raise for the future. But is it, like, my determination and perception, is it now permanently frozen, or can I raise it even higher in later life? I'm gonna assume the latter. But either way, I'll leave it here. Wait. Yeah, kiss the sword. Yeah, it's what I wanted to do, but I didn't have the willpower. Oh well, whatever. It would have been what I'd do. Because now we're forced, basically, to be a commoner. If we did this, we would have, like, trumped the order by being like, well, I kissed the sword. You can't, no take backsies. I'm guessing is what would have happened. But... otherwise, I'm a little, I guess, nervous about saying, when defying the order, like, it sounded like it would destroy you. I mean, if the twin gods are displeased by that, I mean, I'm defiant, but I still went by it. So we'll see. Who knows what that meant, or if that will be the impending doom at the very end of that one single defiance. But we'll see. Either way, I hope you enjoyed, and maybe look forward to Chapter 2 if this series of the Part 1, 2, and 3 have done well. I'll have Part 1, 2, and 3 already, I guess, recorded, and obviously, but I won't know how well they do until after I see Part 1, 2, and 3 fully uploaded. But either way, I hope you enjoyed and look forward possibly to more of, what is it, the full name again? The Life and Suffering of Sir Douche Brante. Just remove the douche because that is just simply me. If you did enjoy, of course, again, the game is available March 4th. Who knows if by when I'm saying this, maybe, I'd presume I'd be uploading this, and by the time this episode is out, it won't be March 4th. Who knows? Either way, I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, please leave a like, comment, hit that subscribe button, become a fellow subscriber, hit the notification down below for updates on my videos. Thank you for watching, and until the next time.